All right, here we go. So, I was just driving around and stopped to pick up my son from school, and I wanted to jump into a live here. I thought about just making this a video, but I think, I like doing lives too because it interacts with people. But, one thing that I really have been kind of harping on lately and talking about lately is prepping. And, I think that there's a lot of individuals out there that look at prepping from three different ways, right? You've got the people that don't want to talk about prepping because it makes them nervous or scared, and that's actually not a bad thing. To be nervous or scared when it comes to thinking about why you're prepping is a natural thing to feel, right? Thinking about how am I going to provide food or security or heat or anything else for my family in a time of a national, emergency, a power grid going down, potential war. I mean, there's just so many different reasons, and I'm not here to get everybody, upset and frustrated, but all right. So that's one group of people. And what's up, Daniel? And then there's another group of people that when you talk about prepping and they say, dude, that's ridiculous. The government loves us and they'll take care of us no matter what. I don't even know why you're doing that because the government would never allow us to get to that situation. And then you have the group of preppers that say, okay, sure, I'm a little nervous, but it's important and I'm going to run with it and I'm going to do everything I can to be prepared just in case. And so I fall into that third group of I'm going to be prepared just in case. What does prepping exactly mean, right? What exactly are we talking about when we're prepping? Well, you should have a way to protect yourself. That's very important. In case of a natural disaster or a national emergency, or heaven forbid, war, there's going to be people that are out there that don't necessarily have your best interest in heart. So I'm not telling you to go and start being this crazy Lone Ranger type, but having the ability to protect yourself, your family, and potentially even some of your neighbors is first and foremost. Having a solid food supply is another thing. And, there are lots and lots of foods out there that can store for a very long time. White rice, for example, honey, canned meats, canned vegetables, things like that can be stored for a really long time and they're really not expensive to buy. And if you just get into the habit of, when you go grocery shopping, picking up 10 more cans of tuna or chicken chicken or spam or, anything else that's canned is just kind of one of those things you'll fall into a habit and then it won't be such a big deal. Having a solid water supply or a way to filter water, once again, it doesn't have to be the end of the world, but what was it? It was probably 15 years ago. Well, no, it was longer ago than that. It was probably closer to 18 years ago. I remember when basically the power grid for the Midwest and the Eastern Seaboard went down. And some of you might remember that as well. But we lost power and we were without power for over a week. Now, I was prepared and I had a generator. But I had to drive like 45 minutes to go get gas to a station that actually had a generator. And the wait there was like an hour and a half to get, 5-gallon gas cans filled. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that's like, oh my gosh, this and that. But, food wasn't easy to come by either because the stores were picked over. And then the stores that some of the stores were just closed because they didn't have any power. And you also had to pay with cash because nobody had credit card machines that would work. So, having some cash on hand is not a bad thing, or silver or something like that is not a bad thing. These are all just really easy things to do in preparation for whatever. But having some gas, a generator, things like that, is just really, really smart to do. Trying to keep your car and the fuel in your car topped off. Great idea, right? It's not that big of a deal. You could fill it up once a week, or you could just top it off every day or every other day. It gets down to 3/4 of a tank, top it off. It doesn't cost you any more money than filling up, once a week. Unless you have a bunch of fuel reward points that you're trying to use. But, the other thing that I tried to do too is rotate my gas reserves at home from my 5-gallon cans that I use for my generator. So, because I don't want the gas to go really bad or rancid, I'll every once in a while I'll just throw some of it in my car and then go refreshing the gas. But I really think it's something that's super overlooked in today's society is prepping, and actually there's a fourth group of prepping or people that think about prepping, and what they do is they think about, oh, my crazy neighbor is a prepper. Oh yeah, man, the guy, losing his cookies, this guy, oh my God, all he ever talks about is being prepared. Well, you know what? That dude is not going to go hungry after a couple of days of no power and no water, right? That dude's prepared. And, once again, I'm not saying this stuff to stress people out or make you scared or anything, but just doing a few little basic things can really make your life much easier. In case of an EMP attack, or just somebody throws the wrong switch again in the power station and bloop, power goes out, or whatever else, so yeah, exactly. I mean, just be prepared, I recently built some trauma bags, right? A first aid / trauma bag. And for those of you guys that follow me, you've probably seen the video, just to have that kind of stuff laying around is, it didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt my household or anything else, but just knowing that we have it is important. Right. And, like I said, I think seriously, most important thing is being able to protect yourself. Having a way to go and gather food as well, whether it's hunting, which it should be, in my opinion. I don't want to go over and steal anybody's food. That's not the kind of people we want to be. But to be able to go out and go hunting and, shoot a deer, a pig, somebody's cow, I don't know. Maybe not somebody's cow. I guess that'd be stealing, but you know what I'm saying. And it's like, just having that ability and that availability is really, really, really important. It's not, even self-protection is not that expensive. You can go out and buy a Glock for $500 or so, and you can get ammunition for them for a couple more $100. You can get 1,000 rounds of ammo, and that's enough protection. You don't have to go crazy and have a sniper rig and an AR or an assault weapon, a bad gun or anything like that. You could just have something to be able to protect yourself. That's important. Not everybody has the same mindset that the majority of us have, right? There are very bad people in the world, and they will take advantage of people when times are tough and resources are thin. So it's kind of important, to be able to do those things. And, and like I said, we've got a pretty decent stockpile of food. And honestly, like I had a friend of mine recently ask me, he's like, man, I mean, how much money, do you think I'd have to spend to have a decent food storage? I said, man, honestly, you can go out and buy yourself a month's worth of food that won't expire for a very, very long time for under $200. You can go buy some canned meats. You can go buy yourself some, and not only that, but, when we talk about like white rice and honey and maple syrup, real maple syrup, wheat berries, having, honey by itself, right, is a bartering tool as well. Like people are like, oh, I'll tell you another great bartering tool. Seriously. I mean, hey, hear me now, believe me later, but think about this. You can go buy a fifth of really cheap vodka for what, $10? Something like that. Super cheap, super, super cheap. Man, I will tell you what, salt, absolutely, 100%, dude, salt. Yeah, I mean, dude, I got a whole list, and maybe I'll even do like a video where I talk about like great things that you can really have. Yeah, seasonings, spices and salt, absolute priority. You can use salt for so many different things, including medicinal reasons. But you know, bartering. Just even let's say you went out and you took $100 bill, whenever, and you bought 9 or 10 fifths of straight alcohol, right? No flavored stuff, no cream or like liqueurs, just straight bourbon, tequila, vodka, whatever. The amount of bartering that you could do with that fifth of alcohol is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, you guys. I mean, in a situation where, you can't get to a grocery store, there is no more of this or there's no more of that. That is a freaking huge coffee, absolutely coffee, tea, alcohol, absolutely, man. There is a ton of stuff that you can use to barter, and it makes a world of difference. You might need some eggs. Somebody might need some salt. You might need this. They might have that. Water. I mean, you should really have a filtration way of filtering water, really, no matter what. We live very close to a lake. We live in a town with a very large lake. So, I need a way to be able to walk down to that lake. You have toilet paper for sure, right? Nobody go out and freaking run out of TP. But we can go down to the lake, grab 5-gallon buckets, bring them back home, add some, tablets to the water, which filters the stuff out. That's just a great way to, do that stuff. But, so let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. And, I'm going to get off here. I got to go grab my son from school. But, let me know down in the comments down below what you guys think about all that. And, maybe some other suggestions. I hear a lot of people always saying, oh, you should invest in a 22 caliber for hunting with 22 ammo. Yeah, except I rely more on my air guns, right? I mean, I just, it's cheaper, right? I already owe them. Maybe we should do a panel on this for YouTube. Yeah, I don't disagree, man. I really don't. Matter of fact, dude, Pest Hunter, man, hit me up, man. Airguns of Michigan at gmail.com. Send me over your info, and let's chat, man. I think it's a great idea. But having a 22, yeah, it's not a bad idea if you don't have a good air gun. Even a CO2 gun. I just did a video on the Diana Chaser in CO2, and even a good pumper. A Benjamin Sheridan, Blue Streak, something like that. Super easy to use. 1322s, anything like that, right? So. Oh, there you go. Well, like I said, man, hit me up, man. Send me your info, and let's chit chat. If you follow me on Instagram, you can message me there. If you follow me if you're part of my Facebook group, message me there. It doesn't matter. However you want to get a hold of me. Or just like I said, Airguns of Michigan at gmail.com. And let's chit chat about that, because I think it's a great idea too. But with that being said, man, I got to get up to the school, so I'm Moose. This is Airguns Michigan. Be good to each other. God bless. And for all intents and purposes, be prepared, even for the little things. So until next time, be good to each other. God bless.